Okay, thank you for stopping back in at Nine World Chronicles. Today I want to talk about La Catrina, or the elegant spirit of death, who is a figure, has become a symbol of death, deeply rooted in Mexican culture. She embodies the elegance and inevitability of being a mortal being. She's always dressed in these lavish outfits to really show that even the most rich among us will still suffer the same fate. And that's what she, regardless of your wealth or social standing. And she really represents an interesting fusion of Mesoamerican beliefs, colonial history, and contemporary identity, standing as a beloved symbol on Dia de Muertos, or the Day of the Dead celebration. Now, her origins date back to the early 20th century. She was created by a very popular artist. And this was more of a satirical look at colonial life and also the concepts of death, that it claimed all. Although her roots are in satire, she has developed into a cultural icon that celebrates the duality of life and death. She bridges ancient Mesoamerican traditions, which honor the dead as a part of the natural cycle, with a more modern Mexican identity. And overall, she's become an emblem of the Day of the Dead, a festival where families honor and celebrate the lives of their deceased loved ones. She has never been actively worshipped in the same way we see most deities that we venerate, but she is still part of this celebration, which goes on currently every year from October 31st through November 2nd. And this is a festival that blends pre-Hispanic traditions from the Aztecs, who venerated the death goddess, the Lady of Death, and also blending in some of their Catholic influences brought by Spanish colonizers. So the interesting things about La Catrina is that she is said to be a bridge between life and death, and serves as a guide for souls returning to the world of the living during this day. Her presence is a reminder that death is not to be feared, but rather embraced. She's also a cultural unifier. She's been a symbol of Mexican identity and pride, uniting people from regions and backgrounds in celebration of their heritage and ancestry. She is also said to be a protector of memory in the sense that she ensures that the deceased are never forgotten, encouraging the living to honor them. And she has a long history that has transcended her original purposes to become much more of a global phenomenon. Now, as I mentioned, she does have a connection to the ancient beliefs. It's rooted to the tapestry of Aztec beliefs surrounding death, particularly the Lady of Death and her domain, which was Mictlan. And she has a husband who is said to be the Lord of Death as well. Now, prior to colonization, the Aztecs viewed death not as an end, but a transition to another form of existence. The dead enjoyed the land of the dead and required a long 4-year journey, and the death goddess played a vital role in helping them to guide them along their way. And she symbolizes many of the things that we see in this modern representation of La Catrina, being keeper of memories, celebration of the dead, and a role as having ancestral offerings. She has been elevated to a role of almost veneration in her culture, and is definitely a very powerful figure, uniting both halves of their ancient belief systems and the more modern beliefs. And this is how we talk about mythology being a living thing. This is what we see with this portrayal here of La Catrina. If you have more to add, especially if you're culturally involved, please hit me up in the comment section. But as always, I ask you to hit that like and subscribe.